I want to talk about religion. Um, there's a problem that I have with religion. I want to tell you one of the main problems that I have with religion. One of the main problems that I have with religion is the fact that it teaches people that it's okay to have irrational beliefs. Okay? And let's say that someone believes in Santa Claus. Okay, what does that hurt anyone? It doesn't hurt anyone. It doesn't hurt anyone to have an irrational belief like that. But there are some times when having irrational beliefs can be dangerous to other people. And how are you going to denounce that? You denounce that by saying your beliefs are invalid because they're irrational. There's nothing to back it up. End of story. You know, we're not going to respect your beliefs because there's nothing to back it up. Now, let's look at it from the point of a Christian. Well, first, let me go this route. I was watching a documentary on witchcraft in Africa, in this country. I think it was Nigeria or something. There's a couple countries where witchcraft is illegal, but in one country and in one particular area, not only is it illegal, but it is actually it's not just on the law books as something that's just some crazy obscure law. No, it's actually enforced. Like in 2013, you have people going to prison for the rest of their lives for practicing witchcraft. So, and it was showing these poor people actually in prison, and you just couldn't help to think that this was sick. They're sitting in prison for no reason whatsoever. Okay, you know, if a man who you do not like, or let's say a woman who you do not like, walks by this kid, and then the next day this kid becomes very ill, you can say, okay, that woman is a witch. Because I clearly saw her walk by her, and my son got ill. And there's no, when it comes to that, it's just word of mouth. It's just my words over yours. And if they're blaming someone who the village does not like, well then, you don't really stand a chance. You know, if you're going to be called a witch, then you're done for. I don't think it was the president. It was like the one in charge of the Justice Department, however it goes over there. But he was basically giving an interview, and he was saying how other countries like the United States have the audacity to tell him and his people that you are putting people in prison for no good reason. Okay. You're putting people in prison for no reason. How can you do that? It's against human rights. It's a tragedy. How can you do that? And what he said right there, I just thought it was so perfect. I mean, I can't defend witchcraft, but I mean, if you are going to defend it, what he said was literally perfect. Okay? You've got people in America who believe in God. But, you can't see God, you can't feel God. There's no way you could test God. There's not a shred of evidence for God. And they have all these beliefs. They believe in crazy things like a man walking on top of water. They believe that a woman who has never had sex before got pregnant and had a child. They believe that a man once died, and then 3 days later, he came back as a zombie and rose bodily into the skies. Now, these beliefs are clearly absurd. And yet, in America, it is socially acceptable to have these beliefs because it's under the guise of Christianity. So just as Americans, they have their faith-based beliefs, they have their beliefs in which they are not required to present any evidence for whatsoever. People in Africa, they have their beliefs. Okay? If people in this village, if they want to believe in witchcraft, and if they accuse someone of being a witch, and they don't have any evidence. You know, you cannot say, hey, it's wrong to accuse him of being a witch because you have no evidence. You have no evidence to show that this person is a witch. Well, that's not it. Their belief system doesn't work like that. When it comes to witchcraft, it's a belief system that's based on no evidence. It's a faith-based belief system. You just simply point someone out and they're a witch. It's the same for Christianity. Okay, it's not a shred of evidence for it. And matter of fact, there's more evidence for witchcraft than there is Christianity, because at least when it comes to witchcraft, the witnesses are actually here in the present day, and you know, they actually did see a man or a woman walk by this child, and that child got ill. Okay, you know, that's a lot better evidence because we actually see this stuff today. You know, the witnesses are alive today, whereas, okay, so you're getting my point. My point is that you as a Christian, you cannot denounce witchcraft. Because on what basis are you going to denounce that? You cannot say that your beliefs are absurd. So why is it okay for you to have absurd beliefs that are based on faith, but it's not okay for them to have absurd beliefs? And I can think of a couple more examples. Let's take the black rhino. There are animals in this world that are becoming extinct because you have people in China, in Asian countries, who believe in the medicinal properties of the rhinoceros horn. Okay, and there's not a shred of evidence for this whatsoever. And yet they continue to believe this. I guess they have a little powdered bag of rhinoceros horn and they sprinkle it on top of someone's head and they're cured of cancer. That's how the story goes, I'm sure. You know, and because of this is why you have these people poaching these animals to the point of extinction. Now, how can you denounce these people in saying that their beliefs are absurd? How can you denounce it and say that they should not believe these things because it is causing the extinction of animals for no good reason? You can't do so. You can't say that your beliefs are absurd. You can't say, hey, you should provide some evidence for the beliefs that you have, because you too have your own crazy beliefs. It's the same thing for Muslim extremists. Okay, Muslim extremists, you know, their beliefs are based on their interpretation of the Quran. You know, you cannot say that their beliefs are absurd. If they believe that God is talking to them, well, you know, you can't dispute that. They don't have to provide any evidence.